Hey guys, so today's video is a long-awaited video, mainly because I kept telling you guys that I was going to upload this video next and I never got around to doing it because I initially wanted two cameras. Oh, there's a glitter in my eye, I think. I initially wanted two cameras with two angles, but I realized that if I waited for somebody at home to try and help me record this, it would just take too long. So I'm going to do it by myself. So there are going to be three parts to this video. There's going to be a beginner, intermediate, and also an advanced. I don't consider myself an advanced braider. I cannot do like proper cornrows or even really tight braids, but I'm just going to tell you guys, like, you know, from my perspective on how to do it. We're going to start off with the beginner portion. So if you are really new to learning how to French or Dutch braid, this is going to help you guys out. I'm going to walk you through it. Whatever, let's get right into it. For the beginning, you obviously need to know the difference between a Dutch braid and a French braid. I'm going to insert pictures of the difference and you'll see that the French braid, it is more kind of folded inwards and the braid is just kind of flat on your head, whereas the Dutch braid, the braid is popping out of your head, so you can feel like the hair that's being pulled in is very tight and the braid itself is kind of popping out of the hair. And the only difference in technique is for your French braid, you would braid your hair normally, which I'm sure a lot of girls already know how to braid their hair, which is you're going and taking the side strands and you're going over the middle strand. But for Dutch braid, it's the opposite. You're taking the side strand and you're going under the middle strand when you're switching them over, and that's the only difference that you need to know. What you want to do is just grab a chunk of hair and tie the rest of your hair away from you. And the reason we're doing this is because we're gonna practice on how to add more hair and exactly how to hold it and all that stuff. So I'm just taking a chunk of hair on the side. It doesn't have to be neat because of course this isn't going to be your braid. This is you just practicing. I'm going to just do French braid for now because it is easier, and I feel like if you can get the hang of a French braid, Dutch braid is the same exact thing except you're going under instead of over. You grab yourself a strand of hair. Now once again, this is just for practice, so it doesn't have to be neat or anything like that. And then we're just going to section it off to three pieces as you would normally do a braid. So those are your three pieces. As you can see, there's one right here, and then one right here. We're just gonna braid it normally now. Of course, you take the piece closest to your head and you pop it over the middle strand. I'm trying to see if I can show you guys. Got that? Then you take your piece at the back and you put it over the middle strand, right? So let's do that again. So you take the piece closest to your face, which is this one here, put it over the middle strand, and then you take the piece at the back and then you put it over the middle strand. So everybody knows, I'm assuming, how to braid. That's how you braid. The only difference that happens when you're French braiding is now, before you take this piece here and put it over the middle, all you're gonna do is you're gonna grab a chunk of hair like this. Now I think people just have trouble, like, you know, holding the strands, but as you can see how I'm holding them. And we're just gonna take a chunk of hair and you're gonna add it to this piece right here. You guys see how I'm adding this right here? So now I'm gonna transfer this over to the middle piece as I normally would. Same thing goes for the back piece. So before I transfer this over, I'm going to also grab, watch me grab the hair, grab a chunk of hair. How do I show you guys? I'm going to grab a chunk of hair like this. I'm going to add it and I'm just going to use my fingers to separate the hair. And this is why you need to make sure that your hair is combed, because otherwise your hair is going to get all tangled and it's going to be confusing. So now we add this over to the middle piece. And that's how you're doing your French braid. Now look how messy mine is. That's totally okay. We are practicing the technique right now. Same thing, guys. Now before we transfer this piece over, we're gonna go and grab some hair like so, and now we're transferring it over to the middle. That's literally all you do. Again, before we cross this piece over, I'm just gonna let it go, and I know where it's landed because it kind of pops out, and I'm gonna pick it up, and as I pick it up, so this is the strand right here. As I pick it up, I'm grabbing hair around it. And then cross over. Okay? Same thing with this piece. I'm gonna grab hair and cross over. Alright? Again, grab hair, cross over, and then you're gonna grab some hair and cross over. So now this is literally all you're gonna do, guys. So practice this technique and go all the way down, unravel your hair, and then do it again, because you need the practice before you get into the more advanced techniques, so you don't get confused as you're doing it and as you go on. So in terms of the Dutch braid, it would be exactly the same. I'll just show you guys quickly. You would take your 3 strands like so, but instead of going over like this, you're taking this piece and you're going under the middle. Okay, so same thing with this piece, you're going under the middle. And then when it comes time to adding pieces, you add a piece like so, and you go, this is the middle piece here, you go, I'm trying to show you guys, you go under the middle piece. Okay, same thing, and then you grab piece on the back and you're going under. Okay, and then you just go on and on. So I suggest that you guys start off by learning French braid, because you already know, like most girls learn how to braid over the middle strand, so it'll be a lot easier for you guys to learn that way. The main, I think it's not hard to French braid. Where people get confused is the whole hair adding part, and sometimes you lose the hair that you had initially, and that's totally okay, because I did not learn overnight, and I'm not saying like I'm a super expert hair braider, but I do know how to braid my own hair. So what it takes is just practice, and also I know a lot of people have trouble with the tightness of the braid, and that will also come with experience and practice. So initially, don't worry about having it too tight or like worry about that stuff. First, worry about getting the main steps down and like not get confused when you're braiding your hair, and then you can slowly move on to how to tighten it and things like that. That was the beginning. That was the main concept on how to braid, and now if you get that concept down, you are able to braid any kind of braid. Like, you're able to braid back, you can do your 2 pigtails, you can do 4 braids, as long as you know that technique on how to braid. That's all you need to know. So in terms of, now I'm going to show you an intermediate way, which I am going to show you guys a full braid back. Not a full braid, but I'm just going to show you guys how to braid back, because I feel like that is a very popular style. And then I'm also going to show you guys in depth on how to braid for pigtails. So, because I know those are the 2 most popular kind of braids that personally, like, I also like, so I'm going to show you guys those ones. This basically just the hand technique and where you hold the hair is the hard part in this. It's not really that hard once you get a hang of it. So you're going to go into the middle and you're just going to grab a strand, not even a strand, like a chunk of hair that you want to start off with. So this big of a piece I'm going to use. There you go, as you can see it. And now we are going to cut it, obviously, into 3 pieces, like always. Here are 3 pieces, as you can see, and now we're just gonna start braiding, so watch what I'm doing. I'm just gonna do a French braid, I'm not gonna do a Dutch braid yet. Okay, so I'm taking this piece here, and I'm going over the middle piece, and I'm transferring that over, right there. Then I'm taking this piece here, and I'm just gonna reach over, and I'm just gonna pull it over like that. So that's your starting point. We're gonna do that one more time, because I find that it tightens, like it locks in the front part so it doesn't get loose. And so we're gonna do the same thing. Take this piece here, and we're gonna go over the middle strand, and then I'm gonna reach over, and then I'm gonna grab this piece and go over. Do you guys see it so far? That's our piece. So far, that's our braid. Now we're gonna start adding pieces to our hair. So now it's time for me to take this piece and move it over. Before I move it over, I'm gonna drop it like this, and it's best obviously to do this in front of a mirror. So now that I know it's dropped there, instead of going and just picking this back up, I'm gonna pinch right here and grab this hair underneath it as well. And you can just use your fingers or whatever to separate your hair. So now that I have the piece and I have the extra hair under it, so look, right here is the piece, and then under here is the extra hair that I grabbed. I'm now going to transfer it over the middle one and switch it over like so. And you just want to pull at it like this so it gets tightened. And what I like to do is then hold the middle piece with the other hand and then drop this piece, because it's time for us to bring this over now. But as I mentioned before, so this is the piece right here that I dropped. I'm going to leave that here, and I'm also going to go under like this and just grab the hair with the extra hair attached to it. Then I'm going to take this, of course, and I'm going to pull this over the middle strand like so. It's time for this strand right here. I already let it go. We're going to go in, pick it up, separate it. Then we're just going to transfer this over the middle piece here. Grab the middle, let this one go, pick it up with the extra hair, pull it over like so. And then you literally just do that all the way down. As you guys can tell, that my braid is really messy right now because I'm not paying attention on where I'm going. I'm just trying to demonstrate the way you're going to be doing it going backwards. Your hands are going to get tired because you will, as you're going back, your hands will be like this. But that's the initial movement that you're going to be doing, is literally just adding pieces and then braiding them as you go back. In terms of my advanced, I just want to show you guys how to do the pigtails, but what I am going to show you is a very on how to do the pigtails with very small pieces of hair, because that is what in my opinion makes the pigtails look so good, is when it starts off super thin and then it gets bigger up here. I don't like when it's really chunky and the braid is this thick up here, if that makes sense. As you guys probably noticed, that it's so simple, it seems so simple, the concept, and once you get the hang of it, it is actually so simple. It just, you have to get used to the way you hold it, and your fingers and arms do get a little bit tired, but the faster you are at it, obviously, then your arms don't hurt as much. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna grab ourselves one of these ragtail combs, and I'm going to separate my hair. And I don't like using, it's weird because I always say ragtail comb, but I don't use this. I actually use the comb, and I just take it all the way back. So I go here and I just comb it. My hair is about second day hair. I like to put my braids into my hair in probably when it's second or third day, because I feel like it looks the best. It's not as frizzy and the braids just hold better in dirty hair. So always tie the other side of your hair off, because otherwise it's gonna get so confusing. It's hard because I'm looking in the viewfinder of my laptop instead. It's just weird. So I'm gonna grab that big of a piece, and I grab it so it's kind of at a triangle. You see how up here it's like a triangle going this way? I don't like it being straight because I want it to be going down like this. If it was square, it would be going back. So I want it at an angle to begin with right here. Sometimes I start off with a piece even thinner, but because I feel like it may not show on camera, I'm gonna do it this thin. So I have my arms like this. That's how you're gonna do it. Otherwise, your braid is gonna go in a different direction. Your arms always have to be going towards the place that you want the braid to go. If my arms were back here, back here, my braid would be going back. So you want to make sure your arms are like this, because you will guide it this way. Same thing as usual, we're going to separate it into 3 pieces. This time I'm going to Dutch braid it, taking this piece, putting it under the middle piece right here. And the way I keep it tight is I try to keep my fingers not up here, but I try to keep my fingers literally right over down here, and that's how I keep it tight. And then obviously I want to take this piece on in this hand and then also transfer it in the middle. We're going to do that one more time because it locks the braid in place. And now we're going to start adding pieces. So in this piece, I'm gonna go and I'm gonna grab the smallest section of hair, like probably the same size as the strand I have in my hand, and then I'm gonna cross it over. Then I'm gonna take this piece and I'm gonna grab a piece of hair under here, and I'm gonna cross it under. Sorry, I know I said over before, I meant to say under, like so. Then I'm gonna grab a piece from here, add it in, and then put it under. Then I'm gonna grab a piece from down here, I'm gonna add it under, and then I'm gonna add a piece up here, and I'm gonna add it under. So as you guys can see, it's already coming along really nicely right up here, and it's very tight, and it starts off very small at the bottom, and then it's gonna get big going back. The main concern of a lot of people, I feel like when I was learning, I couldn't get the hang of like adding the hair in and then transferring it also. So what you can also do if you find trouble like adding it at the same time and transferring it, you can go ahead and like, let's say this is a braid and it's time to add this piece under. Go ahead and add this piece under, but then also grab maybe some hair like this, and also after you've transferred that one, then also transfer this under and grab it with the middle one, and you'll get the same effect. Obviously, it'll be less confusing or if you can't grab it. So once again, then you would take this one, put it under, and then you would also grab some hair from the bottom, and you'd also grab some extra hair and then put it under and match it up with the strand that you took. So then like this one, it would be time to go under. You'd hold it, get a strand of hair like this, and then you would also put this under and then merge these two together. So that would also work. I don't prefer that part because I don't know, I just don't like it. I find it more confusing for myself, but it may, like, everybody learns differently and everyone finds different things comfortable for them, so maybe that would be a lot easier for you. Alright guys, that was literally my way of braiding. I don't know if I was able to like show you guys the strands and stuff completely, and I hope this helps you guys. It's so hard to explain what to do. It's a lot easier to watch, and once you get like the hang of how to transfer each strand and stuff over, it is a lot easier and you get the hang of it. I would say just practice, practice, practice. That's what I did. I just practiced it on my own hair. I will say I can braid my own hair like a pro, but when it comes down to doing someone else's hair, I struggle a little bit. So first, pick what you want to do. Don't practice on someone else if you're trying to do your own hair, because then you'll be able to do other people's hair, but you won't be able to do it yourself because there is a different way of where your hand would rest. So if you're trying to learn it for yourself, practice on yourself, whereas if you're trying to learn it to do it on other people, then practice on other people, and that's how you're gonna get better. I hope I was able to explain it for you guys properly. I feel like it wasn't good enough, but that's the best way I could do it without, you know, an extra camera and without an extra angle. Yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed it. If you didn't, I'm so sorry. I will try to have a better version if you guys didn't like it, and but so far that's the only way I could explain it. Don't hate me. I will see you guys in my next video. Take care, and remember to eat some yummy food. Bye.